wild cherry in flower is as sure a sign of approaching summer as the arrival of the swallows. And it's at its most eye-catching in old hedgerows such as this. Although originally it was a forest tree growing in the shadow of taller, more dominant trees like oak or elm. And it flowers at this time of the year in late spring, before the closing canopy of those overarching, more dominant trees can prevent this great snowfall of blossom that lights up the wood for a few weeks at this time of the year from being seen from afar by pollinating insects, of which there are considerable numbers at this time of the year. In the closed forest, its show of flowers would mostly have been produced much higher up, hardly noticeable from the ground. Wild cherry belongs to the rose family, and in many respects the relatively primitive flowers are similar to flowers in the buttercup family. They have 5 sepals, 5 separate petals, numerous stamens and sometimes lots of carpels, and they are generally not particularly restricted to visits from one or other group of pollinating insects to the exclusion of others. But there is an important difference you might not notice. This looks like the ovary, but if I section the flower like that, there's the ovary, surmounted by the style and stigma. And you can see it's enclosed in an upward extension of the rim of the floral receptacle. That's what the top of the stem on which the flower is produced is called. And the elevated rim lifts the encircling stamens above the ovary. So the all-important ovary is sheltered in this little bowl as it develops into the fruit after fertilization. It is the ovary that will develop into the cherry, by which time it will have outgrown the need for its sheltering flask. If you want the botanical term for this development, it's perigyne, which in Greek means surrounding the female. Nectar is produced in abundance and stored in the bowl formed by that upward growth of the receptacle margin. The anthers and stigma ripen at the same time and spread wide out of the flower. The stigmas overtop the inner stamens but stand on a level with the outer ones. Cross-pollination is thought to be facilitated by the insects touching the stamens and stigmas with different parts of their bodies while sucking the nectar secreted by the bowl-like floral receptacle, but self-pollination is just as likely to take place. On a warm day, the tree is loud with the buzzing and humming of many kinds of insect visitors, various kinds of bees, honeybees often to the fore especially, as well as long-tongued flies and occasional butterflies. Its distinctive floral biology and fruiting strategy are an important factor in the success of the large genus to which the wild cherry belongs. The botanical name for the genus is Prunus, which is the Latin word for a plum, because it includes the plums and damsons, as well as species such as almonds, nectarines and peaches, which were all originally forest trees growing in warmer climates and which have been in cultivation now for thousands of years. In the laws of Gaelic Ireland, the old laws governing woodland in Gaelic Ireland, wild cherry was important enough to merit inclusion in the second division of trees, the ahig fedo or commoners of the wood, because of its valuable timber, which is a red, mahogany-like in texture and colour, but also because of its beauty at this time of the year for a few brief weeks, and in a few weeks' time for its fruit, if you can beat the blackbirds to it. But that is a story for another day.